Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners. Enjoy this Goldylocks Productions presentation of the Stacey and Company show. Stacey Ericson channels messages from your higher self and other realms. Connect with your own unicorn and dragon. Step into this magical realm now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Stacey Ericson. Over the past few years, I have become an inspirational medium and animal intuitive, bringing connection to your higher self while delivering messages from the other realms. Today's show is about receiving and recognizing messages, information, ideas, and wisdom from the other realms, natural world, and Earth herself. I developed this show to help people better understand the natural world and other realms. There is so much information that wants to come forward from everywhere, from the trees to Earth herself, to our pets at home, animals of the world, like the wild animals, birds, and things like that. And of course, the other realms. There's a ton of new realms that have opened up, which are very close to us now as the veil is thinner, so we can hear, see, and feel the interaction like never before. There's a lot of stories that my friends have been telling me about seeing things lately because of the fact that the veil is so thin. They're seeing people talking outside their windows and things like that. It's really kind of neat, because they're not really there, but they are there because they're in another realm. If you view this later and have any questions from this show or any other shows, please write them in the comments, which I need to put up here. And next week's show, we will have the beings from other realms to talk about. There's a lot of new beings that are showing up, at least that I'm starting to discover more of and learn more about, and it's a lot of fun. So it's beings that are like mermaids, fairies, and then other benevolent beings that we have available to us as well that have just started coming in. So I'm going to talk with them this coming week, and then we can really kind of, go over who wants to be available to us at the show next week. I have been able to communicate with animals ever since I can remember. The animal I most communicated with and learned many other skills from was my pony Pearl. She was an abused horse that my family acquired for me because I had a unique connection with her and she with me. I was 9 years old when I got her, and she taught me all about myself and how horses respond through emotions. I learned how to recognize my own emotions and clear thought. She helped me understand the different ways to communicate through telepathy and entrainment. So this show is all about learning about entrainment and telepathy. That's how you communicate with other realms, other beings, trees, the natural world, everything, because telepathy is the universal language. So telepathy is the mind-to-mind connection where you receive information about likes and dislikes, as well as other thoughts. Entrainment is the heart-to-heart connection where you receive information on a deeper level. You can tap into future events, past lives, other realms, as well as other things personal to you and to them. So when you are speaking to these other beings, like I said, this whole show is about learning the signs and symbols and things like that come into our lives and help us recognize messages and ideas and new wisdom for ourselves, to bring us into a different idea of what life is and how life is unfolding for us. And, and you can ask the universe questions, and a lot of times you'll get answers. Whether you like the answers or not is up to you. But and whether or not you listen is also another thing that's up to you. But it's really interesting how the universe shows us all of these different patterns and ideas, and once again, everything else. And today we'll be talking about all of that as we move forward. So I want to tell you a story because I love telling stories. The first thing is that I was about, I would say, I don't know, maybe in 2014, something like that. And I was walking, I was just starting to discover my skills and my ideas and starting to learn more about all of this new stuff. And just opening up to everything once again, like I said, but still not understanding what it was, how it was, or anything at all, to be honest with you, just kind of discovering. So I was walking past my pony. There was another pony that I teach on, and his name is Sparky. And he's a really cool little dude. And he was standing out in the pasture all by himself. And usually horses, they hang out together in a herd or around other horses because they feel it's just, for protection and things like that. So he was off all by himself. And I thought, wow, are you sick? Is everything okay? What's happening here? So I walked up to him and I said, Sparky, what's going on? Are you all right? And he said, shh. And I was kind of offended because I've never been shushed by a pony before. So I was like, what do you mean shush? And he said, I'm talking to the universal mind. And so I thought, And he kind of surprised me with this universal mind idea. I was like, what are you talking about? A pony saying universal mind? I mean, a horse said this. This is really cool. So I was like, So I just turned and walked away because in reality, I was still a little pissed off at him for telling me to shush. So as I was walking up to the barn, I thought to myself, what is the universal mind? Like, what is that? It's pretty amazing that, once again, he can connect in with the universal mind. Animals can connect in with anything for that matter. They have, we talked about last week, we talked about devas and spirits and things like that. And there's a whole spirit for the horse kingdom. So he can tap into the horse kingdom and learn more about horses, as well as horses here on earth and horses in heaven. And it's the same for us. So we can learn a lot more about ourselves. We can learn a lot more about people far away. We can also learn more about, other beings and people in heaven, which is really cool. So this is all coming from the wisdom of the universe. That's what helps us, create this, telepathic communication and learning how to be, one with each other. And so that's basically what this is all coming to, is being one with each other. When you're one with the world, then you're really tapped in and connected, and you can receive all kinds of messages. And once again, from anywhere, all over the world, you can receive messages, or you can receive messages from other realms or the universal mind, like Sparky was saying. So we're going to go ahead and start talking about that. Now, the very first thing was when I told you about, I just started tapping in. And I was learning a lot about animal communication. And the animals are so impressive to me because I've learned probably more about all of this from them than any other being, even my friends. And I just love them and adore them and thank them so much for this. But I was learning actually about the unicorns from sitting and concentrating on believing in them. And then they showed up and it was really interesting. And hello. And I was really excited about this, and I thought, wow, are there really unicorns? And there was this, I was at my farm and I was walking around, and one day I just looked out into one of the pastures, and it was the pasture that I turned my own personal horse, her name is Madonna, out into this field. And I looked out there and all of a sudden there was this tree, and we do have a picture of it, and it's a unicorn. We call it the unicorn tree. But when you look at it, you can see if it does feel to you like it looks like a unicorn, because everybody at the farm said it looked like a unicorn. I mean, all of my friends said it looked like a unicorn. And to me, it really represented this new energy of the farm. We brought in this new energy of unicorns. I'm telling you, when I was riding my horse around, I could see these unicorns, playing in the pond. They were jumping jumps. They were just enjoying themselves all over the place. And then once again, I looked out in the field, and once you can see that, it looks like a big, huge unicorn that's standing on its hind legs. It's just amazing to me that this came up, and I was so grateful for it. And the tree actually stayed like this for quite some time. It was very surprising, especially with all the moss that's hanging off of it and everything. It was really kind of amazing and really cool. So I'm happy that I had this picture to show you guys, because it was once again, it really opened my heart up more to the unicorn energy and reminded me that they are always with you and they are always around you. And they actually, it was kind of funny too. I was riding my horse and still learning about unicorns and trying to grasp the idea of them myself, and really, tapping in and seeing, the different colors, the different shapes, different sizes, and all of that kind of stuff. And she was riding with me. Well, I was riding her actually, and I was cantering her along, and I looked to my right, and this unicorn was cantering next to us. And she said to me, my horse did, she said, "Do you see that?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you see that?" And she goes, "Yeah." She's like, "They're everywhere." I was like, "I know." So it was really cool and fun to, talk to my horse about it as well, so that she tapped in and sees them just as clearly as we do. Of course, they have a lot of horse energy, so that helps with that. So anyway, so this is one way, one unique and very fun way that you can receive information or messages, is by these symbols, that are shown to you in, a physical way. And once again, this is definitely a physical way. This tree absolutely looks like a unicorn to me, and represented everything that I was learning at the moment in time. So I was so appreciative of it. So the next one is another tree, and trees are really spiritual. They have a lot of different energies to them. Each tree, it seems to me, has, kind of like people, they have their own individual energy. And then of course they have the universal energy of trees, because once again, we're all connected. And so anyway, so this tree, there's a tree that we have, it's a little oak tree, and I call it the animal tree. And the animal that's in it, you can kind of see it. Like where the hole in the tree is, if you look real closely at it, it's an oak tree, and you can see, I actually drew it on a piece of paper, which I don't have with me right now, but it showed an animal, but the animal represents all animals. So it was really interesting, a squirrel, or I don't know, all of the animals are represented in this one little being that is very, very prominent in this tree. And you can see it right in the center there, and really recognize, that it's, like I said, it looks more squirrel-like to me, which is really cool, because oak trees have a lot of squirrels that live in them. And obviously with, all of the acorns and stuff like that, they love those. So I was at my friend's house, and I was there because I was taking care of some stuff at my own house at the time, and I wasn't living in my own house, but I was staying with her. And I walked outside and I looked at this tree, and this tree was so connected to me at the time. It settled me down, and it told me to just, ground myself and to feel into the earth and recognize that everything will be okay. So when I went out there to see this tree, I felt all of its energy, and it felt like the movie, the Lion King, that movie, where the tree is in there with the tree of life. And that's kind of what this felt like to me. It felt like this tree was explaining that there's more to the world than what was happening in my own world at that moment in time. And I was so grateful for that wisdom that it had explained to me, that, that everything is going to be fine. Everything is going to be okay. The world, like I said, is going to keep moving forward. I can create whatever I want. I can be whatever I want, and I can have whatever I want. Those were the three things that it said to me. And I thought, wow, that is really, really wisdomful. So I was so grateful and so appreciative of this. And I was so happy that I was able to take the time to actually tap in and feel into the energy of this tree. So as we move forward, we'll go ahead and keep going. There's one other, I'm just going to kind of run through these pictures for you guys so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. And then we'll also talk about other symbols and ideas on things that come to us as we are, going throughout our day, our daily day. So the next one is the heart in the woods. And this one is actually a recent picture, very recent. It actually has happened within the past 2 weeks. And I was sitting in my backyard, just kind of being so appreciative of being back in Florida, because I was in Ohio for a little while. And it was very cold there, you guys, very cold. And I'm a Florida girl. I grew up in Florida, so I really appreciate the warm weather. And so anyway, so I was out in my backyard, just thinking about how beautiful and wonderful this, backyard is, and so grateful for being here in Florida with the beautiful weather. And once again, I live by the beach, and so I'm able to go to the beach if I want to, and it's just gorgeous, and just felt so much love in my heart. And then I was also grateful that I can, do this show, because this show is really special because, we're learning about the natural world. I'm trying to help the natural world have a voice and all that stuff. And then, of course, the other realms who are just, constantly knocking on the door. They're so funny. But anyway, so I was sitting there in the yard and I looked over to my left, and here is this beautiful, cutout of a heart. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is just amazing. So the energy of the backyard and the spirit of the backyard was there, and also showing deep appreciation for my appreciation. And so, our hearts blended once again, becoming one with the universe is really important. And this is something that, we as humans are learning at this time. We're all being a little bit more confined and kept, sort of singular. And in reality, it is helpful because it is helping us, turn inward and be more mindful of ourselves. And so that's amazing, because then the more mindful we are of ourselves and the more mindful we are of, being and creating more for ourselves, then we can, tap into all of this other energy and spirits and whatnot. And that's helpful to us to keep us healthy, happy, and producing what it is, or being, or actually living our truth is what it is. So all of those things, producing, being, but truly living who we are, living in our bliss and being, the person that we're here to be. So it was pretty amazing that this showed up. I was very excited and couldn't wait to show you it. So thank you. All right. And then we're going to go on to some other stuff. We've got, while I was in Ohio, I was sitting in my apartment, and once again, it was during COVID, and I was confined up there, and I was all by myself. I had my dog, and she and I were together in this little itty bitty apartment. And I was really missing, because my entire life I've had horses, I've ridden horses, I've been outside all the time. I've always had the freedom to walk outside. Being in Florida, you can, go out no matter what, pretty much, unless it's like a lot of lightning. That's the only time. Even in a torrential downpour, you can still go outside. So anyway, so it was really, very confining, and such a different feel and energy for me to have in this apartment. So I wasn't really depressed, but I definitely did not feel positive and good in this apartment when I was there for this time, because once again, I was confined. And so I don't know why, you guys, like, things happen for, absolutely no reason whatsoever, or for a reason. Actually, things happen for a reason, but we don't get it. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And this is what happened to me. And so I'm going to show you this picture. So it's going to be the picture of the fairy on the camera. And I don't know why, but it just showed up on my camera, and it was in a burst. It was the neatest thing. It was in a burst on my camera. But if you really kind of lean back a little bit, you can see that there's a little body there with, little wings. And I was so amazed when I saw this. Now, fairies are amazing beings. They bring a lot of energy and joy to the natural world and to us when we are participating with them and understanding them. I'll tell you what, it was really interesting, because once again, for me, I was, sort of a Debbie Doubter. And I was like, I wonder if there really are fairies. So I was sitting out in my arena at the time in Florida before, and like I said, it was kind of around the unicorn tree time, like the 2014, and maybe later, I'm not sure. And I was thinking, I was like, man, I wonder if there is. And I was actually teaching a lesson to one of my, best students who I love so much. And I was sitting underneath the tree, and because it was really hot. And all of a sudden I hear this really high pitched voice. And I was like, what the heck is that? Because the cows are behind me and they're eating grass, and they sound really cool when they eat grass. And really interesting. They use their tongues, to pick the grass up. So it's really interesting. But so anyway, so this little fairy kind of came out and was speaking. And so I was like, I really need you to slow down and speak more clearly. And I'll tell you what, she did. And the little thing started talking like so clearly, and she was so excited that I could hear her. And I couldn't catch the whole conversation because I was teaching a lesson at the same time, and I didn't want to take my, attention off of that. But I was trying to keep my attention on both the fairy and the the lesson. But it was I got to tell you, it was a very interesting experience and a lot of fun. And after that, there was a huge oak tree that was in the on the other side of the fence that I used as a shade tree for myself when I was teaching, and that's where the fairies were. And so once I opened up, this basically Pandora's box, boy oh boy, all the little fairies came flying out of there, and they were all celebrating, jumping around, and all this other kind of stuff. And luckily for me, I have the vision to see things. So not everybody does, but everybody can develop it, by the way, over time if they want to, but if you can. And anyway, so it's a really cool gift, one of my gifts, and so I could really see them perfectly, and they were just lovely, little bright lights everywhere, in reality time, like how I'm talking to you, but and then I could see them in their own realm as well as what they look like. But really cool. So this little fairy showed up in the apartment to cheer me up. And so I looked at the picture, and she's like, "Do you see me?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "We're still here. Even though you're in this apartment, we're still with you. We're still here. And, you can always talk to us." And I was like, "Wow, that's really awesome." So it's really nice to know that you're never alone, by the way, ever. There are so many beings that are around us at any moment in time that you can talk to besides God himself or Earth or whatever you want to talk to. They're all there. You can have conversations with, your loved ones on the other sides too. I mean, everybody's there to help us all out. We're all one, and we're all here to experience, being beings, and then they're here to help us from the other side. So it's really, really fun and great to have them, So this little fairy I was so grateful for, and just couldn't believe that actually showed up on my camera. I thought it was really neat. So then another one, this is going to be the rocks. So when you're out and about and you're just walking, you can once again get those like physical pieces of earth or natural world, things. And we're upside down, sorry. So anyway, these are rocks that I've found, and the big one is it's like a red rock, and it's so cool. And that one actually came from Reno, Nevada. Now, I was born in Reno out there, and got to visit it one time, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. And anyway, I was walking, and I collect rocks, obviously, because you can see right now that I collect them. So anyway, so I just love this rock from Reno. It just was this fabulous rock to like bring home and have this memorabilia. And I was feeling really grateful and just full of love. And for me, hearts are a big thing. Obviously, you can see that, that for me, a lot of things do come in heart shapes, like the pond that I showed you last week, was a heart. And then there was a cloud in the sky that was a heart. So hearts are like what I kind of, gravitate towards. And it really helps me because I am all about love, and that's what I want to be. And so it's very representative of who I am and what I represent. And so it's really cool. And hence the unicorns, they're beautiful, and they're all about love, unconditional love. So anyway, so this rock, the big one, I found it in Reno, and I was just so grateful to be able to walk, around up there. It was in May, I think, and it was such beautiful weather, and it was just gorgeous. And it was right by this beautiful little stream that I was walking through at a park, and saw the rock, and I just thought, oh my gosh, I have to take that home with me as memorabilia. So I did. And then the other rock right here, the little one, I actually found that on the beach where I walk here in where I'm living. And I just loved the little rock. I was so grateful. So one day this is all before the show, actually, I was just so grateful for being home here, once again, and being back. I just got back in May to Florida, and so excited to be here, and just thought, wow, this is so neat. And so I was walking along the beach, and I was picking up garbage like we had discussed in one of our last previous shows. And they, I guess, the beach spirit was so happy, and it, I was picking up garbage, and right next to a piece of garbage was this beautiful little heart rock. And so, of course, I had to pick it up. And now it resides here in my house with me as well, so that every single day I can remember, love. And that's another thing, all of these symbols are there to help remind you of who you are, because that is who we are. We are all about unconditional love. That's our whole purpose in life. On the other side, we are all love, nothing else but love. And so, so this was, helpful to remind me of all of that too, along, like, once again, the unicorns. Those are huge in my life too. So as you're walking along, and you see these little different symbols and things, it's really important to acknowledge them for yourself. It's kind of like a compliment that you get from somebody. It's if somebody says, "Oh, wow, I love, your hair," and they say it like that, "I love your hair." We always go, "Oh yeah, thanks so much." But, you kind of blow it off and don't really think about it. But if you take in that compliment, the energy of that compliment, and you receive it fully in your heart, then it's more, then the energy actually emanates out even more. So it goes from you to somebody else then, and out into the world as well. But if you don't receive the compliment or the idea of the compliment, then what you do is you stop the energy. So, so my point is that with what's happening with, these little symbols and stuff, to actually recognize them, and once again, pick up the heart rock and take it home with you, so that you have that energy of the heart rock, and you have that memorabilia and that thought process and all that stuff. Then you can pass it on to the world and keep that energy flowing throughout the whole entire planet, as well as, other realms everywhere. I mean, you're spreading love to everything possible. So it's really, really fun. So, as we move forward, I wanted to tell you more about other ways you can get information. So there's many other ways, but one way that every single day, like as you're walking, like even if you're just walking from your front door to your car, and you look down and you see a feather. Now, I know that you guys have all heard about feathers and all this other kind of stuff, and that more than likely an angel has left that for you there, which is true in my mind, because angels are very thoughtful, and they're consistently helping us in every way possible, because they really want us to enjoy being a being, which is really cool. So they do help us through, the bird energy of feathers. Now, what's really neat about the feather is that when you do see it, you do want to pick it up. And you can put it in your car, you can put it in your pocket, you can put it in your hair, whatever you want to do, but just try to acknowledge the energy of that feather. And then to receive more information about the feather, you can look to see what kind of feather it is. So say you're walking on the beach, we're going to use that as an example, and you have a seagull feather. Well, obviously it's going to be a seagull feather, because seagulls are at the beach. But so it's not random though. Like usually when you're walking, you have to realize and recognize that there's a whole huge space. Oh, you know what? I'm going to give you even a bigger example. Okay, so there's a whole huge space, right? And for you to walk right in the path of that space of where that feather is so important to acknowledge, because that feather was put there for you to recognize or to acknowledge in some way. And feathers are all about telling you that you are on the right path, that you are where you are supposed to be. There's many different, like your thought process, whenever you were thinking about, say you're thinking about buying a new house and moving somewhere, the feather's giving you confirmation for that too. So this is all different, scenarios of what they can represent for you, depending on who you are and what's happening in your life at that time. But I do want to tell you this was so interesting, and I'm so glad, because I thought about this when it actually happened. So it's my birthday. 2 days ago, I think, I can't remember, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But the thing is that I was at the beach and I went in the water. And when I got into the water, now this is the Gulf of Mexico, you guys. So this is a lot big, lots of water. I walked straight in. I turned around to look at the beach, and my friend was coming in, and right there was this little feather, and it was a white feather floating in the water. So that tells you that this feather is especially special, because feathers aren't usually in the water. And, it was my birthday. And, so whatever else there is that's going on at that moment in time, you can figure out what's, what the message is behind, receiving these gifts from other realms, because that's what they are. They're gifts for us. That tree, that unicorn tree, it's a gift. The heart in the woods, that's a total gift. The fairy showing up on the camera, another gift. So if we change our thought process to thinking more about it being a gift, then we can actually receive the energy of it more fully, which is really nice. Compliments are gifts. So when you do get compliments and you receive them, once again, it's a gift. Somebody is giving you something, and it's an energy of, usually backed up with love. No matter what, it's all love, which is really cool. So feathers are really important and a lot of fun to have, appear, like I said, and they can appear in all different weird places. Once again, in the middle of the water is kind of pretty cool. So just keep your eyes open, and look around for different things, objects, whatever it is that can show you, that you're on the right path, and receive more messages and wisdom from it. Trees, you can just sit for a minute and say, do you have a message for me? And they'll give you a message almost and always. They're very talkative and they definitely love to share knowledge, because that's what they're about. Trees are, I know we talked about this my first show, which I was very nervous, so I don't know if I got the information to you properly, but trees are they're like the library of the world, because they've been here so long that they have the energy of the earth from many times, many years, and you can imagine, and they've listened to several conversations, and they know about the other realms. They have all of these little, tree spirits and tree people and all these different things that always happen. It's really interesting and very cool. So trees are a good way to get some information too. And just by recognizing their spirit, you can get information from that as well. So moving forward again, we're going to talk about driving to work or driving in your car anywhere. It's really interesting because as you're driving along, so say we always think when we drive, and some people even meditate. That's when they get really great information. Great ideas come to people when they're driving. So it's really interesting how this happens sometimes. Well, anyway, as you're driving along, you're going to start looking at, these different things either along the side of the road. So say you keep seeing the same word over and over and over again, like king or I don't even know, but that's one that came to me was king. So king the whole time, driving from one area of, from your house to a next area of wherever it is. And hi, how y'all doing? Just want to say hi to everybody over here that's yelling hello. Thanks for joining me today. So anyway, so you're driving along and you're seeing on these license plates numbers. So numbers are really, really fun to look up on, the internet. You can look them up. You can look up spirit number meaning, and you can get really cool information from these numbers. Now, for me, what I do is I kind of like when I see these numbers along, I usually see them on license plates, or, you'll see them on a road, or you'll see them anywhere, right along the road. But it's usually almost always as I'm driving that I get the number stuff. And as I'm driving along and I keep seeing like a repetitive number, like say 56, so I'll be like, wonder what 56 means. So I'll I'll look on my phone, and then I will get the best, greatest information off of there. Now, not all of it is meant for me, but parts of it are very important to me at that moment in time. And you can get really good answers from this, from these numbers too. Like say you have some questions about, whether or not you should take a job or something like that. The numbers can really help you with this. It can tell you, what to pursue, what not to pursue, all that kind of stuff, which is really your own wisdom, being shown to you in a way that resonates with you, where you're actually getting the message. So it's like that. It's not just believing something that's really not there, because once again, nothing is a coincidence and everything does happen for a reason. So numbers are a great way to get really, really awesome information and very precise information by looking at that. Now, another way is, say you're just kind of going along and you're shopping, or you're watching TV, or you all of a sudden just kind of resonate towards, say, an elephant. Right? So elephants, we don't really have in the United States, just walking around our backyards. So if you keep seeing an elephant, say you see a picture of it, or you see a show on Africa and elephants, you're watching a show on it, or you go to the store now and you see this beautiful pillow and you're like, holy smokes, I really love that pillow, and it has an elephant on it, all of these things. So as soon as you see the elephant and it's sort of, you start recognizing, why am I seeing elephants everywhere? The cool thing is that you can go to your phone again. This is the glorious thing about phones. This is the only thing I think you should use your phone for, by the way, is for knowledge and also to talk to your friends. But for knowledge in this sense is really fun. So look up what elephant spirit animal means. And I got to tell you, once again, not all the information is going to be, pertinent to who you are and what's happening, but there is at least 2 or 3 things in there that, you resonate with and feel that is really good information for you at that moment in time. And it might answer questions. It might just help, explain some things that you're feeling. It might help you just understand something that's happening in your life. It's all of this stuff. The answers are there for us. But once again, like I said in the very beginning, it's just whether or not we're willing to listen to the answers. Now, I'm not always, really good about this either, but I have been trying to get better at it because I've been introduced to some things that, like, once again, I didn't really believe, i.e. fairies and unicorns. So I've definitely opened up to some things that are very different, but have given me so much more knowledge and understanding that there are and is so much more to this world than we ever can imagine. And so as you're moving along through this world, you can get the information that you want or need at that moment in time just by recognizing these signs and symbols and the wisdom that's being presented to you. There's one day it was really funny. I was walking into a barn and I was not really wanting to be at this barn to ride a horse for somebody, and I was not having a good day. And so I was trying to cheer myself up, and so I was walking into the barn, and there was a little Jack Russell, and it was coming back at me, or coming towards me. And those little guys are funny. I swear, they're like thugs in clown suits. They're really cute little dudes, but they are definitely, full of themselves, and I just love them so much. And being around horses, they're everywhere, and really stout, strong, little courageous things. So he was coming towards me, and I was walking into the barn carrying my saddle, and I was like, man, just like I said, I really just wasn't feeling it at all. So I looked at him, and out loud, I didn't do this, in my mind. I actually said it out loud. I go, hey, little buddy, how you doing today? And he goes, better than you. And I was like, in like a New York accent, you guys, seriously, New York accent. It was very funny. And I stopped, and because I wasn't like prepared for him to actually answer me quite like that. And I turned and looked at him, and he said, yeah, I'm talking to you. And I was like, holy smokes. And so I walked back into the barn. But it was the coolest thing because it actually snapped me out of the feeling I was having. I was recognizing that he recognized what I was feeling. I was putting that energy out. And so that's what I'm saying. We are all one. It's so interesting how he felt my energy of what was going on when I was walking into that barn. And then after that, oh, thanks, Melissa, for the elephant. That's so cute. And then after that, I walked into the barn and I thought, you know what? I'm going to be more like that. Like, I got this. I'm not going to do this. And I really want to, just have a good time and have a good life and enjoy myself and not kind of revel in my own, dislikes right now. So this is all stuff that happens, that can really help us become better at just, once again, recognizing our own energy of who we are, recognizing that there are answers everywhere, you guys. I was walking on the beach, like, I know I do this a lot, right? Obviously, because I keep telling you I was walking on the beach, but I was walking on the beach the other day, and I don't know if we have the picture or not, but I got to tell you, it was the coolest thing. And I looked up in the sky and I took a picture of it. And it was a picture of, I really believe that it was God, because God was looking down at me because there's these huge, beautiful eyes in the sky. Now, the sky is an amazing place to find information or answers. If you are having a bad day, look up in the sky, see if there is something to cheer you up. On Facebook, even on Facebook, it's really, some of it's good, some of it's not so good. But when you do just pay attention to the good stuff, it's really kind of cool. There's a lot of neat information on Facebook that with the cloud stuff. Like, I've been seeing a lot of people put pictures up of the aurora lights, right? The aurora, I'm not quite sure if that's the right name, but you know what I'm talking about. These beautiful, glorious, just absolutely magical, so magical lights that are in the Northern Hemisphere. And they just produce the most awe-inspiring, inspirational pictures. And this is the whole thing. The natural world does this. It helps us. It lifts our hearts. It brings love. It reminds us of love. It reminds us of creating and being and really energizing us in some way to help us keep, trudging along through life and being productive, like we want to be, which is why we're here. But we're also here to have joy and to experience joy and to experience, the greatest love of all. So the clouds are another place that you can really look up and find information. And I know I was looking up and it was the neatest thing, because before the show about dragons, I got to tell you, the whole week I saw dragons in the sky. Consistently and constantly. It was just like there was one right after the other, and they were all over the place. And I was like, you guys, I see you. Thank you for, acknowledging this and helping me, create more energy towards the dragon realm. So then that way I could be more, more knowledgeable. I even got more knowledge from them because of it. They really helped me step into that energy of dragon. And it really helped me produce a good show in the sense of where I had more recognition and understanding of what they were about or are about. I know, sorry, they're still here. But anyways, so this all is very helpful for us in every way. Once again, I needed help in learning more about dragons, and then here they are. They start appearing, but they start physically appearing in that sense of, because once again, I can still see them, but the actual physical appearance helps with the energy and helps me stay reminded of it. As far as that goes, because I don't even know if I was thinking about them at the time, but, they were like, hey, we're here. And so it was really, really cool. I know that back to Facebook, on Facebook, I saw a picture of, it was a cloud and it looked like Winnie the Pooh. I don't know about you, but I love that little dude. He was so wise, sitting on a rock or what was he sitting on? I think it was a log. And, he's like, think. He's so cute, right? And so funny and just a lovely little being. And so saw that and thought of it. And, that brought back some really nice memories and made me laugh. So, because I do love Tigger too. So the whole thing about it is that it's a lot of information, to help us remind us of who we are, whether it's our past, our present, or our future. You can get information and wisdom from anything in the world, as far as realms, other realms too. Once again, we just talked about fairies coming to me in the phone, reminding me of the natural world, that they're still there, even though I'm sitting in an apartment, and then the trees are just, I can't even tell you how beautiful and wonderful they are, and their energy and all of that kind of stuff, because they do so much for us. And other than just, give us oxygen. So they're really, really amazing. And then you've got the, like I said, the heart rocks, so that's another part of the energy of Earth, showing her appreciation and gratitude for me picking up garbage on the beach, and the same thing. Hang on just a second. Sorry about this. And then the other thing was, the pond. Last week I had the show and I was telling you about how I was, praying for the pond because there was a bad drought. And we were going through like a really, really big drought down here in Florida. And I was just feeling so grateful that the pond wasn't quite a mud puddle yet, but I was hoping that it wouldn't be a mud puddle, that it would actually get some water soon. And, then this beautiful heart, appeared in the pond. So there's just these things, that come to us in that recognition of that we are being heard, we are being understood, we are being told that they are there as well, and that they're here to help us, just like we are here to do what it is that we're here to do as well, which is help each other, by the way, and take care of the earth and love everybody and be beautiful unicorns. So that being said, we're at 15 minutes left. Does anybody want their unicorn read today? Because I was going to do that last today. And then also, like I said to you, next week we're going to talk about the other realms. And I got to tell you, it's so interesting what's coming up for me. You know, it's kind of like this new world's opening up. It's crazy cool. It's things that I've never even heard of, never seen, never even knew existed. I mean, it's just amazing. And so, so I'm really excited to bring more information about them. I'm going to be visiting with them this whole week so that I can, you know, really try to get the absolute full story for you guys, so that and descriptions and all that stuff. So, oh, Lenka, you want your unicorn read? You're so cute. That is adorable. Okay, so let's see what your unicorn looks like. So, oh, I wanted to tell you guys about this too. So, Lenka, I don't know if you know what unicorns are, but they're all about you. And the body color of the unicorn is what you're working on. And then the mane and the tail colors, there's a lot of colors in them, by the way. Usually, like, that's why they draw them as rainbows. They are about what you are using, the tools that you're using for this. So we're going to go through your unicorn right now. And gosh, it's a beautiful gold unicorn. So your unicorn is yellow. It's an extremely bright, like very bright, sunshine bright, beautiful yellow. And then the overlay of it, it's kind of like it has gold, you know, over the top of it. So it's kind of like, you know, sparkles, like my fingernails right here. Yours is yellow with gold sparkles is basically what it is. And it's absolutely gorgeous, like just beautiful. And it's a girl. So you have a girl unicorn. And it's all about love and joy. So you right now, you are trying to, well, not trying because you're succeeding at it. You are creating a lot of love and joy. And through this joy that you are creating, gosh, it's a big joy, lots of happy joy. You are creating for the world, basically. You're spreading it with this golden light, and the golden light is actually sending it out into the world. And so you're healing. You're doing a lot of healing for the world, which is really interesting. So let's talk about the mane. The mane is white, blue. Oh, it's like a turquoise blue, And then there's some pink in there. Oh, wow. You got a lot of colors, actually. There's some purple and, oh, there's some green. Okay. All right. So the white and this mane is all about you with the clear energy. So what it is, and yes, your unicorns can change, Judy, to answer your question. So the white is, all about clear. So it's like no negativity at all. Like you're not even into that. You're like, I don't want to talk about negativity. I don't want any kind of negativity at all. So it's like very clear, very good energy always. That's what you're wanting to bring, you know, not have all of the drama and chaos and stuff like that. So the blue turquoise is really gorgeous. And it actually is like, I've never seen this before, so I'm going to explain this to you because it's really neat. The blue turquoise is actually twisted like this through the mane. So there's like blue strand, turquoise strand, blue strand, turquoise. So it's like it's twisted like this. It's so gorgeous. And I'm not sure why it's twisted. We'll have to look into that a little bit more in the future here because that's kind of interesting. But the blue and the turquoise is all about the energy of thought and creativity. So you're creating more ways to bring joy. Like you're very creative in this whole process of bringing joy and helping healing the earth. Like I feel like you're doing quite a bit actually of good stuff. And then the green is all about a healing. Now for you, you are actually healing something for yourself, you know, inside. So it's really cool. Oh, good. I'm glad you can't handle negativity because neither can I. All right. And then purple is all about like God or source, you do believe in all of that and you understand it, but it's more of like like the universal mind, like the pony that I was telling you guys about. I don't know if you came in and saw that yet, Linky, but the pony was so amazing, and he said to me, I'm talking to the universal mind. And that's basically what your purple is all about, is the universal mind. So you're receiving quite a bit of wisdom to help you with this whole entire process. So, wow, what an amazing unicorn. Thank you for letting me read your unicorn today. That's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, I do want to tell you, Judy, because this is really interesting that you asked this. The unicorns have been changing. Like over time, if you watch Melissa's show, she talks about, a lot of what's happening in the world right now as far as the energy shifting and changing. And so what's happening with that is that we have layers of the earth that are being peeled off right now. And it's really interesting. It's like an excavation project, or an archaeological dig. So as we get down to these layers, and I'm going to explain this a little bit more next week, because this has been coming to me, and this is why these new beings are starting to show up. But what it's doing is it's changing our history, because we don't necessarily know what's underneath all this stuff. Like, it's really, really cool. But at the same time, it's also changing who we are. And so our unicorns are changing. So they're not quite so flat anymore. Like, I drew a unicorn one time. Let me show you real quick. I think I have it. Oh no, I don't have it, but I'll get it next time. But anyway, it's think of it just like on a flat piece of paper. You've got the drawing of the unicorn, and then you have like all the colors going down, right? This is not like that now. The unicorns are more 3D. So think of it like a piece of glass, that's been blown. So now you've got say Linka, your unicorn, like it's all yellow inside this beautiful glass. And then on top of the glass is the sparkles, but it's very, you can see it's like very in depth now. So it's really interesting how these unicorns are changing with what's happening now. So I'm starting to actually see this, and it's really fun. I can't even tell you. So we are actually turning into even more beautiful unicorns than before, which I didn't even think was possible, because honestly, the unicorns that you guys are and have and become are just the most gorgeous, brilliant, magical awesomeness. I mean, it is truly just awesomeness. It's really a lot of fun. So anyway, so that's what is happening with the unicorns now too. So Judy, yes, the unicorns are even changing quite a bit, and the colors can change depending on what you're working on, whether or not you are done with like what you were working on before. A few people have gotten the lesson of, say, no judgment, that a lot of unicorns that are the rainbow colors are no judgment. So it's really kind of interesting how, certain symbols and ideas are used with the rainbow, but that is what it means. It means no judgment. And it's very, very interesting. This whole thing, is powerful, so powerful. So Laura, you want your unicorn red. You're adorable. Oh, wow, yours is purple. Okay, so Laura, yours is purple. It's like a very light purple though. So it's like a light purple, and it has some silver. I feel like you really love the natural world, like you're out in nature quite a bit. So there's some green in the mane. There's some silver in the mane. And there is a blue. Oh yeah, definitely blue. Okay, so there's more for your unicorn, but I'm just gonna go through this. I'm just doing like real quick readings for you guys. So the purple unicorn in your case is all about recognizing basically source, God, the wisdom of the world. You are definitely stepping into that now. And this show is actually about you, which is really cool, because this is what you're working on. You're working on accepting new things, understanding new things, and recognizing it, but with grace. So grace is God's love. And it's pretty amazing, what's happening with that with you. Really, really cool. And it's light purple right now because you don't want to overwhelm anything or anybody, because it's sort of for yourself. You're sort of going into your own self with this. And the silver is really pretty, because the silver for you is, it's, once again, my nails are silver like this. So it's kind of like that. And you are very, very, once again, attached to Earth. Like Earth is important to you. You love her. You love everything about her. You love the natural world intensely. And I don't know, I see you like you might want to go hiking a lot, or you're outside a lot, this type of thing. Is really important for you. And so the green in the mane is all about healing. And you are using, so the mane and tail colors are the tools that you're using. So you're using a healing energy for yourself to keep it healthy, to keep thinking about healthy things. You know, it's kind of like it's a healthy thing for you. Like I feel like you're working on getting healthier, maybe eating better, things like that, you know, that type of thing. And then the silver, once again, is all about tapping into Earth. And I see for you, I feel like you are attached to the fairies in some way. Like you really like the fairies, and the fairies you can hear the fairies, and that's really neat, you know. And you can also hear trees. Like that's another thing. So you can hear trees very well. It's like you have a gift of hearing. And then the blue, you're learning how to speak more about it, more about like what it is that you want, what you're feeling, all of that kind of stuff, which is moving towards that health side of things for you. This is all that I'm feeling for you, which is really beautiful. What a gorgeous unicorn. Thank you for letting me read your unicorn. I just love reading these guys. They're so much fun, and they're so informative in every way. So moving forward now, I'm going to go ahead and go back to telling you what's about next week. I'm really excited about next week's show. Once again, we're going to next week's show, we will have the beings from the other realms to talk about, which are like mermaids, fairies. And then there's other beings. Now, once again, I'm not sure who they are, what they are, how they are. I've been learning slowly, and they've been showing themselves to me. Like, I'm going to give you an example, and this is really neat. I've seen these tree beings like outside. They'll like actually step out of the trees, and they look like stick figures. They're really tall, and they walk around, and they kind of have, you know, like a I don't know, like a square head type of thing, you know, with like branches on the top of their head. It's really beautiful beings. They're gorgeous, very elegant, very light. And they walk around mostly at night, you know, and I don't know. I mean, it's really cool. I love it. And then they blend back into the tree. It's kind of like when you go to, I don't know if y'all have ever been to Disney World, or if you've been to Busch Gardens, anywhere there's a theme park. Sometimes, you know, they have these people that are on, you know, stilts type of thing, you know, these, I forget what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about, where they get really tall, they're standing on stilts, and they are dressed like, you know, these trees, and their fingers, you know, and all that have leaves and all this other kind of stuff. So it's really neat to see. So they do look a lot like that, you know, but they're not human. And so I wanted to discover and explore them a little bit more and get some more information on them. But that's the type of stuff I'm going to talk about next week. I mean, it's really, really interesting to see. And they're all benevolent beings, meaning that they're, you know, just made of love, and that's it, all love. So, so it should be a great show next week. Please join me. And once again, my website right here is www.raspberrylight.com. And you can get unicorn readings there. I love doing unicorn readings. They're $60 for a half an hour, but it usually goes over just because the unicorn readings are just so much fun. And so please join me there. And next week for the show next week on these beautiful benevolent beings that will be coming into our lives soon. Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you real quick before I have to go is that I keep being told, and I think I said this last week, is that these beings from other realms are actually going to join us in this realm. You know, eventually, I don't know, it could be whenever they say soon, it could be 1,000 years from now, but hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's within our lifetime. You know, we'll start seeing unicorns, and we'll start seeing dragons maybe without being too scared. And we'll see, you know, these other beings a little bit more clearly. And it'll be a lot of fun, right? To like see some little, what do you call them? Little like mermaids and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, please join me next week, and I will see you all then. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Become a Goldylocks Productions VIP patron. Receive exclusive access to live stream special and other epic perks. Join the Goldylocks Productions VIP community today.